My name is Christian Colosimo, and my partner was Paige Ramsey. And for our Black History Month project for English, we did Gwendolyn Brooks, a Black poet at the time. First is the history of Gwendolyn Brooks. She was a poet, an author, and a teacher. She was born in Topeka, Kansas in 1917 and lived till 2000. She was raised in Chicago and wrote about personal victories and struggles in her community. She won the Pulitzer Prize on May 1st, 1950 for Annie Allen, one of her most famous works, making her the first African American in history to get the Pulitzer Prize. Now for more history of Gwendolyn Brooks. She was the first African American woman inducted into the American Academy of Arts and Letters. She also faced a lot of racial injustice as an African American writer, and some of her most famous poems she wrote includes We Cool, We Real Cool, The Mother, and To Be in Love. Now for a little bit more history about Gwendolyn Brooks. She earned her education at Wilson Junior College, and she was the daughter of David Anderson Brooks, who was a janitor and lacked funds to finish his school career. She was also the daughter of Keziah Wilms Brooks, who was a school teacher. She began writing at a very early age and started publishing at 13 years old. Now for the impact of her works. Her works impacted tons of African American writers at the time and to present. Her works helped other Black Americans develop their own sense of identity and culture. She also used her poetry to help others understand the African American culture better and in hope to get rid of inequality. Now for some more impacts of her works. Her poems showed the conditions among the poor, racial inequality, and the drug use in the Black communities. She also wrote poems about the struggles of Black women in particular to show others how hard it is to be a Black woman at that time. Now for poem number 1, We Real Cool. We real cool, we left school. We lurk late, we strike straight. We sing sin, we thin gin. We jazz June, we die soon. By Gwendolyn Brooks. Now, in the poem We Real Cool, it was written in 1959 and was written about Black males playing pool in the Golden Shovel. The message in this poem is that dropping out of school is not in fact cool, but in actuality a dead-end street. She got her inspiration from walking past a pool hall full of Black boys in her community. Now, in the poem, she also tells readers that the males in the pool hall are Black, but in the end, it could be anyone, white or Black, male or female, young or old. She also shows how the group of Black teenagers are cool, but the coolness will in fact bring their demise in the end. She shows all the lives of the group in just 8 lines, showing that their lives are very straightforward, simple, and short if they follow this path. Now, poem number 2 is The Bean Eaters. They eat beans mostly, this old yellow pair. Dinner is a casual affair. Plain chipware on a plain and creaking wood, tin flatware. 2 who are mostly good, 2 who have lived their day, but keep on putting on their clothes and putting things away. And remembering their twinklings and twinges as they lean over the beans in their rented back room that is full of beads and receipts and dolls and cloth, tobacco, crumbs, vases, and fringes. Now, the poem The Bean Eaters was written in 1960 by Gwendolyn Brooks. It represents the poverty of the couple in the room, and it also shows that beans are cheap food, which they can eat a lot and can be grown at leisure. Although the poverty is severe, they keep it together by remembering more exciting times from their past. The poem also shows the severity of looking at the good things in life, even when it seems there isn't much at the time. The poem also shows that things will in fact get better, even if they have been better in the past, and it doesn't look like they will get better.
Hi guys, it's Paige. I'm basically just here to read and give an analysis for the rest of our poem, so let's get started. Poem number 3 is The Mother, and this one is by Gwendolyn Brooks. Abortions will not let you forget. You remember the children you got that you did not get. The damp small pulps with a little or no hair, the singers and workers that never handled the air. You will never neglect or beat them or silence or buy with a sweet. You will never wind up the sucking thumb, or scuttle off ghosts that come. You will never leave them, controlling your luscious sigh, return for a snack of them, with gobbling mother eye. I have heard in the voices of the wind the voices of my dim, killed children. I have contracted, I have eased, my dim dears at the breasts they could never suck. I have said, sweets, if I sinned, if I seized, your luck, and your lives from your unfinished reach. If I stole your births and your names, your straight baby tears and your games, your stilted or lovely loves, your tumults, your marriages, aches and your death. If I poisoned the beginnings of your breath, believe that even in my deliberateness, I was not deliberate. Though why should I whine that the crime was other than mine, since anyhow you are dead, or rather or instead. You were never made, but that too I am afraid is faulty. Oh, what shall I say? How is the truth to be said? You were born, you had body, you died. It is just that you never giggled or planned or cried. Believe me, I loved you all. Believe me, I knew you, though faintly, and I loved you. I loved you all. The Mother was written in 1945, and it is an anti-abortion poem. This poem was inspired by the Roe v. Wade court case, and this poem explains that you cannot forget the children that you never had. It fights against abortion and the people who abort children. Our fourth poem is The Crazy Woman. I shall not sing a May song. A May song should be gay. I'll wait until November and sing a song of gray. I'll wait until November, that is the time for me. I'll go out in the frosty dark and sing most terribly. And all the little people will stare at me and say, that is the crazy woman who would not sing in May. This poem is about a woman that waits to sing a song that is sad because she is unwilling to sing it in a happy month. It was written to show that now is a good time and not the time for a sad song. But when it gets to November, she will sing the song the worst that she can. This poem is one of Gwendolyn Brooks' most impactful and known works. All right, our fifth poem is To Be in Love. To be in love is to touch things with a lighter hand. In yourself you stretch, you are well. You look at things through his eyes, a cardinal is red, a sky is blue. Suddenly you know he knows too. He is not there, but you know you are tasting together the winter or light spring weather. His hand to take, your hand is overmuch, too much to bear. You cannot look in his eyes because your pulse must not say what must not be said. When he shuts a door, is not there, your arms are water, and you are free with a ghastly freedom. You are the beautiful half of a golden hurt. You remember in covet his mouth, to touch, to whisper on. Oh, when to declare is certain death. Oh, when to apprise is to mesmerize. To see fall down the column of God into the commonest ash. This poem was written in 1986, and it is about what it is like to be in love. Gwendolyn Brooks gives the readers a description of the love that will exist in their lives. She summarizes what love can do to a person and how it makes them feel. Our sixth poem is Sadie and Maud. Maud went to college, Sadie stayed at home. Sadie scraped life with a fine-tooth comb. She didn't leave a tangle in, her comb found every strand. Sadie was one of the livingest chits in all the land. Sadie bore 2 babies under her maiden name. Maud and Ma and Papa nearly died of shame. When Sadie said her last so long, her girl struck out from home. Sadie had left as heritage her fine-tooth comb. Maud, who went to college, is a thin brown mouse. She is living all alone in this old house. This poem was written in 1945, and the theme of it is that the rules of society are not always perfect. It contrasts two sisters, Maud, who goes to college. Maud represents the rules of society, and Sadie, who doesn't go to college. Sadie does not allow what society thinks is best to decide what she does with her life. Our last poem is called Two Prisoners. I call for you cultivation of strength in the dark, dark gardening into the vertigo cold, in the hot paralysis, under the wolves and coyotes of particular silences, where it is dry, where it is dry. I call for you cultivation of victory over, long blows that you want to give and blows you are going to get, over. What wants to crumble you down to sicken you, I call for you. Cultivation of strength to heal and enhance, in the non-cheering dark, in the many mornings after, in the chalk and choke. Two Prisoners was written in 2018, and Brooks takes the freedom that we have and shows what the condition of prisoners are like. She uses feelings that everyone is familiar with, such as cold, heat, dryness, sickness, darkness, etc. Her goal is to make readers feel empathy for the prisoners. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. If anyone has any questions, please let me or Christian know. Again, thanks. Bye.